Okay, now it's time to try out Guns of the West 44 Walker. And he makes a special separate thing marked 44W Walker. And there is a 44 caliber. Now, if you look at some of the other people making these, they will make a 44 caliber, which like for an 1860 Army, they'll make one for the Ruger Old Army, they will make a 44 Dragoon, and they will make a 44 Walker. The difference between the Walker is the largest pistol made. It's huge. The Dragoons, which came afterwards, the cylinders and barrels were shortened, so it will not take the same amount of powder as a Walker. So why he only makes the Walker and then just the standard 44, I don't know. But we're going to use this, and we're going to use Air is Gone Walker bullet, or Dragoon bullet. Now this bullet will only go in a Walker or a Dragoon. It was specifically designed for the Dragoons. You really can't use this huge bullet in like a 1860 Army or any of the others. It's very large. And I haven't heard of anyone doing it, so let's start. Okay, so just like with the other one, he has his built-in powder measure. If you fill this up nice and even, give it a little tamp, it comes out 40 grains of 3F, or the equivalent volumetrically of 40 grains of 3F with a substitute, like Pyrex or whatever. It won't weigh the same, but I've weighed it, 40 grains, which is about the standard load for a Walker. I don't have a Dragoon. I've never fired that in a Dragoon size gun, so I don't know the difference. But for the Walker, that's about and it's about the max too. 40 grains about the max. Okay, got a 3/4 inch hole punch, and that's what I make my little bottoms with. 3/4 inch in diameter. Again, I am using nitrated coffee filters. I am not using the cigarette paper like he shows you, which his little method of cutting it in half and that won't work with the Walker. Actually, to do this with the Walker, maybe it will, I don't know. It would be, you could do it. Okay, it's the cigarette paper is long enough to get, but it would be kind of tight and close. Okay, in our same methodology. So what I do is I go and cut the paper 1.5 inch square. Okay, and what I like about this style is it doesn't have to be too precise. As long as you get it rolled on there, glued on, and tight, then you trim it with your X-Acto knife to the exact size. So let's get started. I got a 40 grain charge already over there. Now the glue sticks are alright, but sometimes you get this snot on there and you gotta like clean it off. And like with the liquid glue, you get that gooey shit. It'll start to congeal or solidify while you're sitting around working on it. So the glue stick's probably better, but the glue stick can be a pain too. So now we go through, we make sure we overlap our 2 points where we're going to cut. And we just try to roll this as tightly around the mandrel as we can. Okay. Get it down on there tight. And as long as it overlaps our 2 points, just get our little blade out and start doing our trim work. So really, in a way, there are some, and it depends on the person, For me, this is a little bit faster method using these mandrels that I trim. Because like I said, I just cut this paper out, and my coordination in that is terrible. Okay, trim the end off. Now I believe I did a couple practice ones, so I ain't going into this blind, so I kind of got it down pat so you don't have to see me fumbling and struggling. But I believe in using the coffee filters as compared to his method with rolling papers, now I think this is where we're going to run into a problem. Because I think the thicker paper is going to throw this kind of off in a way. So we do our usual trim. And what do I mean by throwing it off? It seems the body comes up a little short, is what I'm saying. So there we go. Okay, we got the thing trimmed. Get our bottom mandrel. We get our little 3/4 inch bottom. Take our glue stick. Roll it in the glue. Then we do our little downward shove. Okay. Now as you see, with the thicker paper, he must have designed this for thinner paper. It's not bottoming out. Okay. So we're not going to the bottom. And then I'll get it loose here. There. Alright, it ain't too bad. That's sticking up a little farther than what it was. But, again, take your funnel. Put the funnel into where the paper is. And kind of wiggle that around a little to flare out the body of the paper. Okay? I know you probably can't see it that well, but I guess you'll get the idea. Alright, so then we put in our 40 grains, which is a Walker charge. It's a large amount of powder. And then when we slowly bring the funnel up, now this one, you gotta tap down Okay, try to get that smooth out. Now what I've been finding is that this body isn't long enough. In other words, I'm getting short on this heel. It's not coming up all the way. Also, when I go to do that press, for some reason this one will not press down like I did with the other one. The other one, it presses and it comes up to the edge of the heel on the bullet. In other words, that'll sit in that press or in that die right to the edge of the heel. And that's what compresses it against with the glue and that and makes it work. These here have not been doing that. The only thing I can think of is because I'm using the thicker, heavier paper, that this fixture or jig has been designed for that thin paper. Alright, now I got glue on the heel, and again, as usual, we carefully set it in, trying not to bend the paper, and that funnel thing wiggling around helps a lot. Okay, so now what we do is compress, and I've found he must have made this, and then see the bullet starts cocking on me. It's not going down in too straight, it's like shifting. And then what I do, I just stand it up. See, trying to get straight. and it's not protruding out the back. So I'm having an awful time getting it to go down and do that crimp maneuver like they do. And it's not going in straight neither. Well, that's about the best I can do. It did stick out somewhat a little, so now I'll try to give it a pop out my thumb. But be careful, because like I said, I found that the bullets will come loose. Actually, push that out a little. Funnel. There. Okay, now I got it out. Somewhat straight, and on the the paper's pushed up against the heel, but it looks a little bit cockeyed. So we'll set that aside, and we'll take a look at them here in a minute. So again, it's doable. But I think because I'm using thicker paper, I'm having a bit of an issue with it getting a crimp. Because when something's bigger, I guess he designed this to use this super thin, cigarette paper. I don't like this, because even when you kind of get it, it's too soft. And like I said, once we get out to the range, we'll see. And also the inside of this looks a tad bit, I just noticed that. Inside of this has some weird things on it. I don't know if these are, like I said, printed on a 3D printer, but it goes in loose like it should. For some reason, the mandrel, whatever I'm doing in the process, the mandrel's a little off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make up another couple cartridges, and then we'll kind of take a look at them and see what I think. Okay, well, here are the 4 Dragoon bullets that I got finished here. Not too bad, but for some reason this isn't functioning much like when I did that little 36 cals. I mean, that was perfect. It came out great. For some reason this won't go down in. I don't know what it is with it. So I'm not having good luck with the Walker version of this. I may try it some more, or I might call it quits for the day. It's getting kind of late in the afternoon. But I'll see if I can get 2 more made up, and then we'll go out and try them out in the gun. But as far as, like I said, I only tested one of these. This one here, like, the Walker, it is got the correct charge, everything else, but it just doesn't want to seem to work well for me. Maybe it's because I'm using the thicker coffee filter paper. I don't know. But this one I'm having trouble with, so I might have to go and see about looking into the well, I'm going to run all of them. I'm going to try to make bullets with all of them before I pass any judgment, but ran into trouble with this one. Alright, stay tuned. Alright, after the spill and all that, for some reason I did another one and it went a little bit better. So we're going to come back here and try to do this one more time. I don't know if there was something in the die or whatever that had to get worn or knocked out, a burr or something. But now this is starting to function just like the other one. We'll go put our paper down. The paper's going in flush where it wasn't doing that before. So that's the one thing that's different. So I don't know if there was a burr or something in there. Try to get this apart now. There we go. So we'll put our thing in, put in our funnel, do our little flare, flare it out, put in our 40 grains of powder. Okay, then gently lift this up. And little tap. I like tamping it down. And one of our monster bullets here. Run it on the glue stick. But I still have trouble when I shove it all the way down in there. It doesn't quite want to crimp. The other one, the little 36 did it well. This one here doesn't want to seem to do it. Alright. Alright, so as you see, this case now is where it should be. Okay. The bullet still isn't too straight, but now we got it where get it there. Now I'm going to take it out and then give it a press. Once I get it off the table, I'm going to press it. Where that really did not want to do that. Okay, now, I don't know what it is. Now that bullet is down in there where it went in. And we're sticking out the back end like we should be, where that wasn't doing that before. Okay. So now let me see if I can give it a little shove. Do it here, so we don't want to. Okay. We got it to come up. Let me see if I can get it out of there. Yep, there it is. All right. That made a good bullet finally. I don't know if there was something in the mandrel itself, a burr or something, but I did finally make a good bullet. Straight, none of that problem of being cockeyed or nothing, and it come out the way it should. Alright, so maybe this thing needed a break-in, but obviously his device does make a 40 grain Walker paper bullet with somewhat of ease. A little bit difficult on this one, but we got it, and we made a combustible paper cartridge. So now I have 6, try to get out to the range and give it a test. And I will go and heat up lube and dip this. I mean, it's pretty much a common thing. You don't need to do that, but I will lube it. Or you can just load them as is and then put lubricant over the top of the cylinders. Either or. Alright guys.